So, good evening, friends, and good evening, all Chaturaginis. And let's have a grand welcome to first ever live session, which we are streaming on our YouTube channel. And that too with some happening live session series. As you all aware, Tyacoon Talk series is going on for July month. And not taking much of your time, I'm handing over this session charges to Meenal Vadie, our interviewer for this session. By profession, she is a image enhancer and branding coach. So let's welcome Meenal Vadie, and over to you, Meenal.
Good evening, everyone. This is Meenal Vadie, welcoming you all to another episode of Tyacoon Talks. In this series of Tyacoon Talks, as you all are aware, that we have been interviewing some of the eminent personalities in the world of business. And so, in the line, this episode, we are interviewing the Vice Chairman and Managing Director of Mastech Limited, a global technology services company offering digital services and software for public and private enterprises in the UK, US, Middle East, and Asia Pacific. So let's all welcome with a big round of applause from the comfort of our home, Mr. Ashank Desai, sir. Welcome, sir. Welcome to our Tyacoon Talk show.
Thanks for invitation. I'm quite fascinated by this channel that you are doing.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank you that you have, from your busy schedule, you have given us some time and, for this interview. And we all are looking forward to the next 1 hour and learning a lot from you all and getting a lot of good tips from you in terms of entrepreneurship and all.
I'm looking forward too.
Likewise, sir. Thank you. So, without much ado, I will straight away come to the questions. And just to start with, sir, I would request you that, if you can tell us something about your initial days before you founded Mastech.
Oh, that's pretty long story. Let me see how I can compress it. So I was born in Goa, but I had very little bit unfortunate childhood. Because I lost my father at the age of 2, and my mother, of course, was not so well educated. However, at the same time, my mother's side family and somewhat father also was involved as a freedom fighter against Portuguese. I'm now talking of 50s. And both of them essentially meant that we could not live in Goa peacefully. So my mother, of course, had to find a job also to bring me up and a new place. So we moved to a place which is now known obviously as Dadra Nagar Haveli. It so happened that Dadra Nagar Haveli got liberated in 1954 or 55, I think. And there were many Goans there already settled because it was part of Portuguese. So she felt comfortable and advised to move there so that she can be in good company. So we moved there and there was very limited facility of schooling. I kind of had a schooling which if I tell you, you'll start laughing. I used to have no blackboard, not even place to sit. And my colleagues were Adivasi students. And these Adivasi students actually were married students, 15, 16-year-old. And they were sent by their parents for study. So, and with one teacher, I think, or two teachers for all of us. Such was the schooling that I did first almost 6-7 years. Somebody, I used to stand first among them. So one of my relatives used to say, Ashank, he used to tell others, he is standing first, but how many students are there? 8. so such was the situation. And my mother was also not earning so much money. So we had very hard time. From there, Goa got liberated and then we moved back to Goa in 62. But again, when I was trying to enter good schools in Goa, they said, you don't have a very good background of your schooling. Some schools which you have never heard of, and so you should come one level below. So I said, no, I don't want to do that. So I didn't get admission into best of the best schools in that Padhi, for example. And I passed in Marathi medium. I couldn't get admission in English, which was in a way worked out well. So I passed out SSC, and then I had not great of the great marks, to be very honest. So I used to think what will happen, with that kind of scores. Of course, that time our student who was standing first in the SSC board, Maharashtra, used to get 85% marks by the way. Now, of course, they get 99.9. But that apart, I joined a college in Goa, did inter-science, and then I didn't know what to do. I could not apply for IIT because nobody knew about it. My mother didn't know. I used to stay in a village in Goa after we came back. And only company I had was people who we typically call a slum, really. If you look at it that way, in Mumbai slums, if you look at it, those were the kind of houses around me. And the people staying there used to, Goa get a lot of cheap drinks, as you know. So they will drink in the evening and then start beating their wife, unfortunately, and all the abuses. So that was my environment from 6th to 11th. 11th was SSC that time. And I used to come home from the school almost through a ferry, and then, financially not in the best situation, so sit at home and just study. It was lonely life actually. No play. I didn't play all the things. Of course, we didn't even have a radio. My mother said, why do you want radio? So even when I reached then engineering, we didn't have a radio at home by the way. But I was very fond of Binaka Gitmala, if you remember that time. And my neighbor used to have a radio. So I used to go and put my ear to the wall. And that's the way I heard. So those were the days, very difficult days. And I was told by Shilpa to sing few songs. So for that period, I will sing the song later. That was the song which kind of moved me ahead in life.
Sure.
Then engineering college, I got admission. It was again a startup engineering college. Passed out and then joined, fortunately, IIT. And that was a changing point for me. Came back to Mumbai. I stood very well. I stood second in Bombay University actually. Though I was, that time we were connected with Mumbai University. And I worked very hard those 4 years of engineering. I could see some light in my life after all those 15, 20 years of rough time. I could see something that I could do. So then I went to IIT, and that was an inflection point. And then after IIT, I joined Godrej for 3 years. And then I thought I may not be best of the engineers because I was a design engineer. I said I was fascinated by management. So then I decided to join IIM Ahmedabad. And that's where the story of Master starts, to give you a story of Master. At that point, I got my colleagues, 3 of my colleagues at IIM Ahmedabad, who wanted to also, associate with me, and all of us together felt that we should not do any job, but start some business. Now, that has its own story. I'll tell you as we go along. But that's very compressed story of mine. From a hard life of first 15, 20 years to some light in life.
Yeah, indeed, very inspiring, in fact, because I mean, the kind of situations you went through as a child, and the transition that we are seeing today, it's amazing. I mean, very inspiring. So, sir, tell me one thing: that why this is, I think, must be the late 70s or something when you had founded Mastec. And that was the time, I think, software or IT industries were not very prevalent. So what was the inspiration behind Mastec? So how did how did that seed crop up?
Yeah, that's a good question. So it so happened that all of us, including my other colleagues, though they were better off and brought up a little bit better up than me, but still were middle class. So we didn't have a lot of money, nor did we have business background in that sense. And we felt that IT industry was the best industry to start, A, because IT was just starting that time. It was, as you said, early 80s, late 70s. And intellectual capital is what was needed there rather than money power. And with our IIM kind of background, we felt that we will be able to be welcomed in the industry also. That is one reason. Second reason was that being in IIM, we could take specialization in IT and take a project around our organization. In fact, we started thinking about it in the second year of IIM. First year people study very hard, second year people take it very easy, even now and even then. So we used to take time easy. So during that period, we took a project, and that time it was not called software company or IT company, it was called systems engineering company. So we took a project around it as to feasibility of doing it. And because we were from IIM, we could go and meet anybody very senior. We went to Delhi and met the IT secretary. He said, "Oh, young guys, fellows, yeah, you are doing something. IT is going to be tomorrow's industry. You should try." So there was an encouragement from very seniors in the government, our alums who were in the industry, we met them, and professors. So there were 2, 3 professors we are grateful to them, who helped us. Mr. Professor Paul, Professor Bhatnagar, and these people, they said, yeah, you start something. So all that resulted into me feeling, although let me tell you, we looked at many options. We decided to first look at my market research, because that was what was started by one of our colleagues 3, 4 years before us. We will start laughing, we started looking at manufacturing voltage stabilizers, because that was a big business that time. Because electricity was not coming and all over. We looked at even air conditioners, because that was my field at IIT. But after looking all that, we said we'll do this. So that's the way software idea came up. But let me tell you, there were very few companies even that time when we thought of it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that is something that you must be even also passionate about at that time.
Yeah,
So that was one of the reasons. So
I got a actually computer and IT kind of background or exposure in IIT actually. My project involved some optimization and using computers. Exactly. Mind you, at that time computers were done on a punch card. You have to write your program in punch card.
Okay.
Punch all the cards and then give that deck for running on a computer. And you can't go inside computer. You don't have to.
Okay.
Apple and all that. Now everyone carries computer in his pocket. But those were the days.
Good old days.
So,
yeah.
So those days it was very interesting. I tell people I used to go to TIFR and spend 1.5 hours from IIT to go there, give my punch card, come back another 1.5 hours, and next day go another 1.5 hour time. Why? To check my error list. So if I make one error, I will lose one day and 4.5 hours of travel. Now you can write program and you get error list on the screen. So we were writing programs right first time. So those were different days.
Absolutely. Thanks to technology, things have been simplified so much now. Right, absolutely. So just deviating a little bit, being a mother myself also, this is a question that is coming personally also. So, when your child is like very highly educated, you have this very, very, these big shot degrees from, prestigious institutes like IIM and IIT and all of that. Obviously, even as a mother, you feel that, okay, my child should have a secure job at the end of the month, a fixed salary and all that. But even after securing all these degrees and being an alumni of such prestigious institutes, you opted for entrepreneurship. So, what was your mother's reaction to that?
Yeah, that is again a good question. She said, "Arey bhai, what is this? First you are saying you want to do business. Then you are saying some IT or software, which she had no idea what it was. And you told me I'm going because I'll get a good job in Citibank, American Express, Hindustan Lever, Tata. What is this you are trying to do?" Huh? So I had to convince her. And I always say that as I was in IT industry, I could not show her product because if I show her computers, she'll say, "Oh, you make computer." No, no, I don't make computer. Then I used to show her that this time a floppy disk used to be there, where you. So I used to show her that it is lying in this. "Oh, you make those disks." I said, "No, I don't make this." So she was very suspicious. What is this he's doing? This product can't be shown. And top of it, I used to talk to my employees and customers at night time in US because that is the convenient time to talk. So she was firmly convinced that her son is in some shady business whose product can't be shown and should be conducted only night time. So any fraud used to happen in Mumbai, she used to call me, "Ashank, I hope you are not involved in it." So I said, "Please get off my back." Because she was a very simple lady. So the point I'm saying is there was no support in that sense. There was a goodwill that yes, sir, will do well. But why? Why are you doing this?
Correct. I think as a mother, I can totally relate to this. The worry factor that you have, especially in terms of your children.
And there was entrepreneurship today.
Exactly.
Everybody said, "Oh, your son is entrepreneur." Everybody will appreciate.
Exactly.
At time, entrepreneur is the lowest level. Business करता है, कुछ
हाँ,
अपना करता होगा, So then
जॉब नहीं मिला तो बिजनेस कर रहे हैं शायद, ऐसे भी एक होता है ना जैसे.
it was very, very negative environment
Right.
from household support as well as from the society.
Right. Absolutely. So,
But
this.
that was a story one somebody told me.
Mhm.
And I think, he said uh, there was a businessman, small businessman. He got a, offer marriage. That means that time arranged marriage. So somebody came and, said that he's a good fellow. So the father said, "What is he doing?" He said, "He's business." Arranging business. And his daughter then married a person who was working in his company. So such was the case. Anyway,
Wonderful.
but he has a secure job, he said. So now he's
Right. Okay, so this brings me to yet another thing, which, as you rightly said, that that time entrepreneurship was something that was not very prevalent, but nowadays the youngsters now, every other person is into a startup or some kind of an entrepreneurship. So I would like to understand from your side, sir, that how was the startup scene then and how it is different now in terms of the challenges and the opportunities that
yeah,
the.
yeah.
Yeah.
In a good, very interesting question for any startups around on this channel. See, situation is completely different in a way. So there are different challenges and different opportunities now and then. The challenges then for being in IT industry A was market was very small, very small. I am one of the founders of NASCOM. When we started NASCOM, total export from India was $50 million. Million. We completed last year with $200 billion. So you can imagine 4,000 times. So the market is 4,000 times bigger, export market. So there was very little possibility to get specialized into anything and so on. So that was, you had to do everything to survive. A, B, nobody was convinced about computerization. There was a resistance from labor, resistance from government computers, and people will start shouting. and all that. So those resistances were there. The opportunities, in a way, it was going to be a growth market. So you could try new ideas, and competition was not that serious. If you were doing something new, you could find some niche where nobody was there, and you could really convince people. And in a way, cost of operation was also less. Today, a programmer is paid, 20 times what we were paying that time. So challenges and opportunity. Now, market is big. You can specialize. You can start exporting from day one. However, there is a competition. There is a difficulty of getting people now, IT industry, because they get a lot of jobs. I could get 7 people from IIT in 1986. I will find it today difficult to get them now. But then I could get it because there were not too many IT jobs. So getting people was also easy that time. Now it is so difficult. So two different things. If you are really good today, you can grow very fast. But you have to be having various other issues of competition for people and market. But the market is big. Then it was not.
Absolutely. So I think there are always challenges whenever, through timing, the time span challenges, everything changes. Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
last one also, that time challenges was there was nobody was supporting entrepreneurship.
Yeah, true.
Now there is.
Absolutely.
And that's a big plus, by the way, big plus.
Absolutely.
I personally work with hundreds of entrepreneurs. Actually, I'm involved with SIGN, which is IIT Bombay's entrepreneurship engine, and last 15 years. And we have incubated 200, 300 companies and 500 entrepreneurs. I'm involved with CII, NETSCOM. We encourage them. We give them training. Nobody knew anything about us. Nobody wanted to help us. So today, it is also available. So that's a plus.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Big plus, right? Society is positive, government is positive, everybody is positive.
Yes. That's a big plus point we have today. Absolutely. So as you were telling about your life journey, one thing that I realized is that you are the first generation entrepreneur. So you belong to a family of freedom fighters.
Yes.
So being the first generation entrepreneur yourself, what qualities do you think one should possess if he or she decides to be an entrepreneur today?
Yeah.
Because as you rightly said, in the family nobody knows about entrepreneurship, so you do not have any direct guidance from the family. Although there are different sources, but I think coming from you will definitely add a lot of value.
Yeah. So that's what I say even today when I talk to people who complain. I'm coming from very poor family. My father is driving rickshaw. I say, don't worry, boss. I will not know in no different situation than what you were. So that's kind of to create an inspiration in them. So the point I'm making is qualities that are needed is the question you are asking, right? Right. So see, one thing that I'll talk about some of that as we move along, but there are 3 things that are needed really. 3 things. If you want to be victorious, I call it V, then you need 3 V's. One is vision. Vision is like top floor. Building a company is like building a building. You have to think through what top floor and how many stories you want to have. You want 1-story building, 25-story building. You want some garden at top. So vision is about what you want to be and what your company wants to be. It has to have very powerful, inspirational message and benefit to customers or society. You can't run a business saying that I want to become a millionaire or billionaire. That's not a vision. That is just your selfish thing to be what. You will become if your vision is right. But that's the outcome. I want to make difference to the largest citizens all over the world through IT. For example, that's what we do as an example. So vision is one. But just vision is not enough. There are enough people who can dream, and we meet many of them. But unless there is a foundation, you should have top floor, 35-story, 100-story building, but the foundation is weak, building will fall. And what is that foundation? Values. Values about, of course, basic values of ethics, integrity, respect for people, conducting business professionally, that is required. Other values are business values like I have to give best to my customers. My employees are not my employees who are only doing salary, but they are my partners in my journey. So I have to treat them that way. And my investors, I have to give them what they want. So stakeholder win-win situation, creating that. That is also a value. That's a business value. But then there are basic values, as I said. Ethics, integrity, hard work, smart work, understanding people. Unless you have those values, and I have seen many people who have great vision, they have come and told me, I think I want to change the world. But basic values were missing. The foundation fell. So that is second V. The third V, of course, is needed. Only two are not enough. If you have just vision, you are a dreamer. If you have just values, you are an NGO. NGO also is a good value, but they don't have necessarily all the time have vision. Not everybody. They are good NGOs, but some. So you are not an NGO or non-profit. You just have value. So you need middle floor, as I call it, and that is called vitality. Vitality is about energy to move ahead every day. Vitality is about creating systems and processes in the company so that everything runs properly. There are many people who have good vision values, but they just struggle around. They don't build organization. You need a succession plan for yourself as well as many managers build it. You need systems of incentives, appraisal systems, evaluation, all that is needed. And above all, energy to perform. So those three in good, not everybody may have all three, but at least two you should need in a good form, and third should not be negative. If at least we have covered that, you will do well.
Absolutely. And as it is always said that systems work, people fail.
Yeah.
So yes, of course, unless and until that is in place, I think only having vision and value, as you rightly said, is not enough.
Yeah.
So everything should be in place. And energy, of course, very important. So, sir, in one of your previous answers, you mentioned about NASCOM. So, I also want to understand that you're a founder of Mastech. You also, have NASCOM in your kitty. And then after doing all that, you're also into philanthropy. So you also do a lot of social work. You have the Avanti Foundation, and you're doing a lot of work for leadership for girls and all that. So you have your hands full, and still you're doing so much. So how do you manage the time? Please give us some tips on time management, please.
That's a tough one. That is the toughest one to manage this particularly. So there are 2, 3 things I do. I don't think I may not be doing the best, but I try hard.
Yeah.
First is I plan my time very, very meticulously. Giving anybody 30 minutes time, I will think 2 minutes or 5 minutes before saying yes. Because time is all that I have. What else I have? I have a time. So I have to see my time goes in the right activity, which are highest priority to me and overall. So not wasting a time can be best done by planning your time and very stingy about time. People sometimes don't like me. They say, "Oh, what is this? You are not available for 15 days." It's just that I have few other things to do. Or they will say, "Oh, you are giving me only 15 minutes." Or you are saying, they say, "I want to meet you." I said, "No, I don't want to meet you. Let's talk on Zoom." Because once you meet, you take 1 hour's time. So I have to think through every time before I give my time coming. So that's one. The second one is I continuously kind of prioritize and always look at what is that I want to achieve today and this month. So each month or each day, sometimes your priorities are different. So sometimes you have to do something very urgent and valuable. You have to spend time. But sometimes you have to spend time saying future thinking about. So that is third. Fourth is, and I don't think I'm doing this third one better. I think we should reduce your distraction. This email, social media, and WhatsApp is good and bad. If you are continuously using WhatsApp, then you have a problem. You should always have slices of 15 minutes, 20 minutes where you don't do anything. I'm not available. I'm working on this. So there is a law of 27 minutes, I believe somebody has used. Sometimes I think it is right. Do for 27 or 20 minutes, only one task. Complete it, then go to the next task. If you are trying to 25 tasks at a time, you are frittering your energy. So prioritizing efficiency and saying no to many things is the only way you can. There are a lot of invitations I get many times, and I say, let me think about it. I will come back to you. They think I'm trying to be act career, but actually I'm not. I'm just saying I can't do justice to it. Why should I take it? I don't want to.
Correct. So I think in a way, it's we can also say that rather than it's time management, it's more of self-management.
Yeah.
So because we any which way, yeah, right. So because we all of us have 24 hours. So honestly, we cannot manage time. But yes, as you are doing that, you are managing yourself,
Yeah.
that prioritizing and all that.
That's
Absolutely.
the better word. Thanks.
Absolutely, absolutely, sir. Yeah. Okay. So coming back to one thing that always pricks my mind is education system today. What I honestly feel is, even also being an image consultant and branding coach, so we also do a lot of work when it comes to skill management, skill development, and all of that. And I very honestly feel that, no offense, but formal education is not enough today. You also need to develop certain skills in order to succeed in your professional life. So. I mean, what do you think should be the mindset of parents? Because only students cannot do, say, for example, as you said, that, if I want to be an entrepreneur, but I should also have some kind of a support from my education system, from my parents, family, and all that. So, what should be the mindset of parents, your educational system, institutions, and societies as a whole in order to see an overall development in today's youngsters?
Yeah.
So, how important is that?
As you rightly said, it's extremely important in today's world that there should be emphasis given on skills, which we are not doing, unfortunately, as much as many other countries.
Right.
Similarly, in like Germany, you must see the kind of focus they give. So the skills are two types, of course. One is what I call hard skills,
Yes.
which are professional skills. And some of the people who don't get jobs, they have to work on that.
Right.
Welders, construction workers. I have an organization which I was one of the founder members called Park. We train almost now 10,000 people every year
Right.
from high school dropout and make them welders, construction workers, drivers, cooks, jobs assured. It's a big story by itself. We don't have time today, but I'm involved in that. The whole Jharkhand is run by us. The skill set of Jharkhand. We are in all states. We are in all the districts of Jharkhand. Now we also started nursing school there, where we are training 1,000 ladies to become nurses. Again, jobs are sure. Now those skills are live skill for living, and we should do that instead of just doing graduation or whatever. So those skills are at one level. The second skills which are very important, which are needed even if you do a good education, are these what called soft skills.
Soft skills,
And
absolutely.
we find it very, very important for us in the industry.
Yes.
So we work with the customers outside.
Exactly.
And they need a very fluent written communication, they need very fluent oral communication, they need the ability to think logically and present the ideas in a very structured way. They need something that ability to listen. You see, before anybody start talking, we have a tendency of not finishing that. Respect for people, Now, of course, there is whole issue of gender and those kind of issues. One has to be very sensitive. Those skills are difficult to manage. Difficult in the sense you carry those skills from your childhood, how you are brought up, how you are, which environment you were in. So those skills are something we train our people in Mastec, for example. Many others also train, of course, professionally. When we send somebody to UK, we tell them about UK culture, what it means. How to behave in UK is different sometimes than US, by the way. And so on. So those are very, very minute software skills. But overall skills are needed as a professional, keeping time. Now, these are very simple things. But people don't realize it. People will come 15 minutes late and they don't feel anything. If you go to Japan, they will always I used to ask Japanese, why are you always on time? They said very simple thing. He says, we use 15 minutes before as my time of arrival. Simple. He says, if I have a meeting at 6, I am 5:45 is my time, and I all work around that time. So, yeah, I think like that. Now, these are small things, but all of those are skills actually. These are attitudes at one level, but those are skills about speaking, writing, timekeeping, professionalism, and so on.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think, as you rightly said, slowly things are changing because even as a soft skills trainer, even I see that a lot of corporates, in fact, like I work more with students and corporates both. So this is a new change that I have seen, that even educational institutes have started taking up these things, the soft skill part, which was not prevalent when we were younger. So it was not like that. Okay. So again, deviating a little bit, I just would like to know that Mumbai being an economic capital, still when we talk about IT hubs, why is it that it's always Bangalore and Pune that comes to our mind?
That's the most important question. That's where I feel very strongly about it.
Absolutely.
So, what is your question? Why is it so? Is it?
Why is it so? Being a Mumbaiker, I also feel that it's yeah.
I feel there are Mumbaikars like me. By the way, the IT revolution started in Mumbai
Exactly.
in the 70s, not far away from where I'm speaking today, just 6 kilometers away.
Achha.
Tyacoon export processing zone. That's where it was born. All early IT companies came there because it was beneficial tax-wise, you could import hardware, all that. However, two things happened. One, Maharashtra probably was the biggest, or was even today is the largest state in terms of GDP. So it has many more industries which are thriving very well. Financial, of course, even manufacturing in those days. Mumbai used to be a hub, and so on. So I think there was not much attention that was given at a highest level in terms of giving incentives, giving policy framework, which was required. Giving places at a concessional and so on. So that was one thing. Whereas states like Karnataka always felt that they were behind Maharashtra. So we must do something good in, and Hyderabad then took it over also later. So those states were much more nimble in terms of pushing IT. They felt this is tomorrow's industry. That's one. Number two was Bangalore particularly suited very nice place. Now it is like Mumbai only for all practical purposes in terms of traffic jams and whatever. But that time it was little bit sleepy town with lot of universities. So education and all was people were comfortable to be in Bangalore. So many companies like even Infosys moved to Bangalore from Pune. So there was a little bit of environmental impact which was there. Add to it the cost. Mumbai was expensive even then and even now. Mumbai used to be 2 to 3 times Bangalore. So any startup companies and even today feel very difficult to be in Mumbai. So I tell government now that one of the reasons you should reduce the cost of operating or working there. I don't get good people from Bangalore. Bangalore I may get now, but earlier I can't get people from other cities because they say, I want more salary. So the cost of operating becomes high, which was not the case. And on top of it, some multinationals saw some of these advantages and started their operation there. There is something called Texas Instruments and few others who were leading user of IT industry. They started all those factors. Government's nimbleness to push the industry, good environment, low cost, and some IT multinationals moving together catapulted into this. Then I was involved. In fact, I pushed government in Maharashtra very hard. I said, you guys are missing. And Maharashtra government, the good thing they did was they pushed Pune. They realized that Pune can be pushed. They created Hinjewadi. They brought a lot of big companies. Many companies CEO felt very good because government was, but that was 20 years after. That was in 2003-4. But anyway, it is not ever too late. Now today is almost second. Or Maharashtra is almost is second because Pune plus Mumbai together. But I agree, Mumbai lost that. And but I feel bad about it when somebody says Bangalore is Silicon Valley. I said, boss, where did it start?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Because I have lived
that. Exactly. Okay, so there's one word which it's been doing rounds every in newspapers and everywhere that we are hearing again and again is artificial intelligence nowadays. So what do you think, Art? How artificial intelligence will have an impact on the IT sector in the coming future?
Yeah, so you see, that question is sometimes speculative. That's reason there are opinions on both sides. My immediate reaction is like this. You see, any increase in productivity has always benefited in creating demand larger than improving productivity and creating jobs different than earlier sectors. What I mean by that is, if there is 10% increase in productivity in an economy, the demand goes by 15% because cost goes down. More people feel that they can buy the services so that more companies come in the sector. And because of that, the loss of jobs in one sector ends into doing 5% more jobs in another sector. I'll give you an example. Our IT industry is a good example. Our IT industry, productivity, I told you, I have to punch my cards and do 1.5 hours, 4.5 hours. That I can do in 5 minutes today. So my productivity has gone 100 times, but the demand has gone 1,000 times. So any loss of productivity, improvement in productivity generated demand for software. More people started using software, new applications got developed. And because of that, more people are needed. Today we employ 50 million people in IT. So the point I'm making, a general trend is productivity improvement creates more demand for those products and more jobs are created. Not in that sector, but other sectors. Today, who is creating jobs? Zomato is creating jobs. Swiggy is creating jobs. How are they creating jobs? Because of IT. IT is allowing them to schedule. They give in 10 minutes to you on riding and so on, or WhatsApp they use on mobile. How that has happened? They have created millions of jobs. They were not there. So AI is also a similar inflection point to mine. It will create jobs that we have not heard of. And some of them we know about. Data scientists, it is about creating AI, AI creators of AI itself, other than usage of AI, and then whole issue of bias, the whole issue of policy. And AI will open some new doors which you and I have never heard. You see, Google Maps, I'm just looking at Netflix series on Google Maps, how somebody else had built it and all that. Google Maps reduced the ability to write maps or interpret maps, or you don't need big directories used to have. Remember, what happened? Actually, people became more efficient and more people are employed in maps industry, probably than printing directories and so on. So my view is it will create more jobs. Now, there is a small hitch there. earlier productivity improvement will little bit slower than this AI productivity. It is creating completely new. So it is possible that in very immediate term there may be a negative impact here. Because it will suddenly impact some people that you are not needed. I can write everything on ChatGPT code and so on. So, but then once that is done, then it will start moving up. It will make people more efficient. So ultimate benefit, I don't think it's going to be negative at all. That I'm very sure. But in today's case, that could be a negative impact in very immediate medium term, 3, 4, 5 years.
I think that's a good, right. I think that's a great sign of relief from, coming this from you, because I've been hearing people are afraid of losing their jobs. But as you rightly said, also if I remember when computers came, people thought ab manual work to nahi kar sakte, computer jagah le lega.
No, my professor used to tell me, you tell government, you don't want computers, then let us not use the word processor and not word processor, don't use carbon paper. Then you have to type 5 times, no? There will be enough jobs you are creating.
Right.
Can you afford to do that today?
Correct. I think the only thing is upskilling is important for everyone. No?
Yeah.
To learn AI maybe and
you need to upskill, you need to change. So the pressure on change will be very hard.
Yes.
Because I can't cope up with changes happening in my industry.
Correct.
That will be very high pressure. But ultimately, it will be beneficial. Wonderful. There are always going to be positive and negative side of any technology.
Yeah.
That we don't have time to discuss that. But
True. Absolutely. Okay. So, in the last 45 minutes, the journey that I've seen of yours. So, what I have also seen is that, like your birthplace is Goa. Okay. And your schooling and your IIMs have been done in Gujarat, Ahmedabad. And then your IIT and, of course, your Karma Bhumi is Mumbai. So, what importance these cities have? What importance these cities hold in your life?
Yeah. So, Goa is, of course, a place where I love to live because it's a place where I come from.
Right.
If anything is to be done, I would prefer that. But the Mastic formation, that whole thing happened in Ahmedabad at one level, or my childhood first 6 years, where I knew what it means to struggle, what it means to work in a difficult time, what it means to, realize that even if you don't have a hope, you have to look forward. So that kind of creates it has a place in my life where I say that they created some foundations for me. Those early years and even IIM and the But my expression happened in Mumbai. My Karma Bhumi is Mumbai because that's where I could establish the company. We decided to start it in Mumbai. We looked at all other options. Even Bangalore was looked at that time. But like all other people, we said maybe we wanted to be here. So we agreed to be in Mumbai. Partly because I was working in Godrej and I came back and we had a house. Anyway. So the point I'm making is Mumbai is a Karma Bhumi. So whatever I want to do, I want to give back to Mumbai. So I'm involved in a place called Mumbai First, where I'm a vice chairman, where we work for changing the face of Mumbai. Some of this infrastructure that is happening, by the way, Mumbai first thought about it 20 years ago. All the 6 metros. And all that we have been telling government, nobody knows. We don't talk about it. We just influence government. So I work for Mumbai. I work for education in Mumbai. I'm today working with Vanshali Foundation, that my foundation works with training teachers in government schools, 2,000, 3,000 teachers for preparing their students for scholarships and Olympics. We are doing that because teachers are not ready to train students. Those are the reasons I am giving back. My Master Foundation supports many NGOs in Mumbai, in education, in the healthcare area. So Mumbai is a place where I want to give back in a big way because that's where my future happens.
Wonderful, sir. So now I think we are coming to the end of this interview. And as you had mentioned right in the beginning, as So of course, I would say that maybe because we have talked so much about entrepreneurship and all, maybe if there is a song, because while doing some research about you, I came across that you have some liking for Hindi songs, Bollywood music, old Hindi songs, and all that. If I'm not wrong. So if there is some song that comes to your mind, either to sum up on something on entrepreneurship or even otherwise,
Right.
so we would definitely like to hear a line or two from you for sure.
Sure. I hope I can make two songs instead of one.
Absolutely, most welcome, sir. Yes.
I am very fond of this old time golden era of music as they say.
Okay.
And look, encyclopedia and I do singing at in public also sometimes and so on.
Okay.
There are two songs. One is, as I said, when I was in Nagar Haveli and I didn't see what I am going to be in my life. The song that was there was जीवन से नहारो जीने वाले हाथ मेरी तू तारे मतवाले हर गम को तू अपना ले घर का दर्द छुपा ले बढ़ता चल दुनिया से सुख दुख को बिसरा कर जीवन से नहारो जीने वाले So that was the song then. But today I sing. I sing because I now done Mastec, of course, but I also started two schools. One in IIT Bombay for public policy. I have donated money and created a public policy school. And in IIM Ahmedabad, I started leadership school. So I'm trying to create and many NGOs, as I told you, I build leadership skills among girls of school for last 10 years. We have trained 35,000 girls to become leaders, to take charge of their life. So, for all of that, I sing the song, "Aachal ke tujhe main leke chalu, ऐसे गगन के तले जहाँ गम भी रहो आंसू भी रहो बस प्यार ही प्यार पले ऐसे गगन के तले ऐसे गगन के तले."
Beautiful, sir. Beautiful.
Superb, sir, superb. And I think one more song, Goan song.
Go on, go on.
Try, sir.
Very nice. I'm very happy that you are running this series. I'm sure
Thank you, sir.
many more leaders and many more people. It should create an inspiration. Our job now is to inspire people that hardships, background are not an issue. We have to have faith in ourselves. We need to think good things about the world. There are all negative things all the time. Unfortunately, our TV shows today is only talk of negative things. You get really disappointed. But that is not what it is. It is about faith, it is about goodwill, it is about vision.
True, absolutely.
The world will always become better and be part of that. Take charge of yourself. Hold yourself responsible. You are only responsible for yourself. Don't blame others. इसने ये किया, उसने वो नहीं किया. We are all waiting that, all of us. We always blame others. You take charge of our life. That's it.
Yes,
Wonderful golden nuggets.
Yes. And we are really blessed that it's our first series which we live stream on YouTube, and we are blessed that we have first interview. First interview is of Shang sir, and really it's an inspiring interview totally. And our women entrepreneurs and other fellow beings really inspired with this talk, and hope so in future we will come up with the new women entrepreneurs and other entrepreneurs also. So thank you very much, sir, for being with us for 1 hour and giving us valuable inputs. And I think which will help all the members who are watching this series on YouTube. And thank you so much, Meenal. समअप करायला असेल तर आपण मराठीत बोलू शकतो की आपण महाराष्ट्रात आहोत आणि मराठी आहोत. सो आपण एक हे करू शकतो की आपण सगळ्यांना पुढे घेऊन जायचंय आणि आपल्या बरोबर जे आहेत त्यांना इन्स्पायर करायचं आणि ह्याच इनपुटवर मला वाटतं अशांक सर आपल्या बरोबर इंटरव्ह्यू द्यायला तयार झालेत. कारण
मराठी ते गाणं होतं बाय द वे. आता
सर
यावेळी ऐकत नाही मी आता हे जास्ती. बहुवसोत संपन्न की महाचा एक
महाराष्ट्र ही
असं काय ते गाणं होतं ना आधी
हो
मराठी.
हो हो खूप जुनं आहे ते.
Anyway, so carry on your good work that you are doing. I'm very happy
थँक्यू सर.
that this is what you are doing. I said yes, this is a good effort. Continue.
We are trying for women empowerment and from कारण आपण जसं म्हणतो की एक स्त्री पूर्ण कुटुंबाला पुढे घेऊन जाते. सो त्याच अनुषंगाने आम्ही ही सिरीज चालू केली. We have our own woman entrepreneur group and Meenal is also part of that group, Fempreneur, which is a female entrepreneur. So newly startups आणि अशा काही जणी आहेत ज्या आमच्याबरोबर कनेक्टेड आहेत. So this is for them specially we have come up with this Tyacoon Talk series and thank you for accepting our invite, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you sir. Thank you sir.
It was my pleasure. मलाही खूपच आनंद झाला आज तुमच्याशी बोलून. थँक्यू सो मच.
थँक्यू सर. थँक्यू सो मच. नक्की सर तुमचे ब्लेसिंग असतील तर आम्ही खूप पुढे जाऊ सर. थँक्यू.
थँक्यू.